Thanksgiving, a great weekend, great alcohol-free weekend. If you guys are new to the channel, welcome. My name's Josh, Living Life Alcohol-Free. If you're returning, thank you guys so much for checking in. I did a poll, a couple of them the other day, and it looks like about 60% of you guys didn't drink and loved it. That's awesome. And congratulations. And yeah, that was me. I mean, this was my sixth, easy for me to say, sixth Thanksgiving, alcohol free, and going into Christmas time. So it'll be number six. I'll be celebrating 6 years alcohol free in April. So this spring. And man, I'm looking forward to it. There's nothing better than going through the holidays not drinking. If we have leaned on it for so long and we're used to it, and that's what we're used to, then then that is what it is. Some of you in that poll, some of you drank a little bit, some of you drank a lot, some of you didn't drink but struggled. So that's like another. That's the other 40% of you guys. But if you made it through and you didn't drink but you struggled but you still made it through, that's kudos to you. Um, I'd like to know how you did it. So let us know down in the comments, or let us know on my upcoming video. I just made it this morning. It'll come out on Wednesday, but it was how a DUI changed my life. And yeah, let us know down in the comments anywhere in this community that you can let us know how you made it through alcohol free, but you struggled. Um, it's important to welcome Ryan, welcome from Australia, and yeah, it's so important to recognize if alcohol is becoming a problem, and get through the holidays without it. Man, that's awesome that you could do that. That was something that was not going to be easy for me as a drinker for 27 years. There's so much to look at, to figure out, that it's almost going to be impossible to go through the holidays without alcohol. I mean, it can be daunting to think about that. So uh, you really have to kind of, if you're gonna drink. So Ryan, you say you struggle. You're still struggling badly. If you're gonna drink alcohol for the holidays, the best thing you can do is really kind of um, think about how you're feeling while you're drinking. You know what I mean? Like, not necessarily at a party, but more like if you're at home, like just on a regular drinking occasion. Kind of sit and think about how you're feeling with your drinking. After you have one drink, after you have two drinks, and really kind of hone in on how you're feeling. And after that binge session is over, I assume that you are drinking like a binge drink. Uh, Recognize how that hangover is affecting you, affecting your life. Uh, it maybe you're not waking up with a hangover, but you're waking up thinking about the next binge session. That's kind of how I did it. I didn't drink to the point where I was afraid that I couldn't drink anymore. Occasionally, I would drink so much that I was sick that I wouldn't be drinking anymore that day. But typically, I would drink just enough under to where I felt like I could drink the next day. So I'd wake up thinking about my next binge session, like how much am I going to drink? When can I drink? What kind of responsibilities do I have to take care of before I get to that binge session? And everything was revolving around alcohol. So, but when I quit, uh, the biggest thing was uh, to think about how, um, like how am I not going to drink today? That's really the biggest thing. Um, and use those tools and talk, like if you have to talk it out, if there's something you have to talk about, it's best to talk it out. Um, but yeah, if you're gonna be able to, if you're gonna be drinking during the holiday season, maybe you drink on Thanksgiving. Um, there's a whole host of things that we can do that don't revolve around drinking. But like I said, it's hard to really assess where we're at with our drinking if we're trying to do it at like a party or a get together or something like that, because we're already excited, our endorphins are already going up, and then we hit ourselves with a dopamine hit of alcohol, and it does enhance it. It makes us feel like we can cut loose, we can have a little bit more social lubricant, we can maybe be funnier, maybe we can say things to people that we normally wouldn't say things to. Welcome, Valward. There's a whole host of reasons why um, we drink. I don't know what the reasons are that you guys drink. I mean, I did another poll last week that was, um, do most of it was because most of you guys drink out of boredom, but there's also people that drink to cope with life. There's maybe you feel like it enhances your circumstance. Maybe you're having a good time. You introduce alcohol, and it makes it better. And maybe that was your Thanksgiving. Some people drank a little bit. Maybe they enjoyed that, and that's totally fine. But if you're on this channel, there's got to be a reason why you're on this channel watching sobriety videos, and maybe you're questioning alcohol and the role that alcohol plays in your life. And that's huge. That's a huge important aspect. Um, we got other holidays coming up. We got Christmas and New Year's coming up, and those are huge drinking occasions. And I started a challenge last year, and I'm doing it this year. I'm not as active about talking about it, but it is a challenge, and it's a challenge to get through September, October, November, and December alcohol free. And I've got that. You can join my Facebook group as well. We can get into it on there too. But it's a Burr Months sober challenge, and it's getting through these 121 days either alcohol free, because that's the goal, alcohol free. But if you're going to drink, kind of have a point to your drinking session. Like, I'm going to learn something about my relationship with alcohol while I'm using it this time. Like, I'm not just going to mindlessly drink. And once we get through these holidays and get to the new year, we've got a several days or weeks, or if you started in September, months where you're feeling good, and you can go into 2026 feeling even better and start the year off the way that you want to, like get off on a good foot. And maybe if you are trying to be alcohol free and you get to the new year, you can say, you know what, I'm ready to not drink at all, and start this thing off. Because I mean, let's face it, January and February and March, especially where I am in Michigan, can be depressing. I mean, gray, cold, windy, snowy, icy, all that. And maybe you have like a day or two out of the week where you really feel like you want to go outside and, other than go to work, and brave the elements. Uh, but if you're not drinking in those first couple months, you're going to start feeling better, and you're going to get through those months healthy, adding and incorporating new things. Like I incorporated. Uh, I've already been stretching every morning, but I incorporated cardio, 10 to 20 minutes, pretty much every morning, um, for like 4 to 5 days. I'd say I've been doing it out of the week, and I notice a huge difference in my uh, energy level. Like, I feel better incorporating cardio into my daily routine. and add on top of that like scripture, which I'm not, I haven't been as good at, but I mean, I still do try. And it's just being aware of those things. But if you're starting to incorporate those things into your daily activities and not drinking, you're gonna get like you're gonna go far. And when you don't do those things in your day, you feel like you miss it. That's a huge thing. Um, and that's when you know you're on the right path. That's when you know that you've got a good system going. You're kind of rewiring your mind. It's not totally dictated by alcohol, which is, that's the problem with alcohol, and the problem with addiction is that it rewires our brain. It makes us feel a different way. It makes us uh, our personality changes. It makes us crave more alcohol, and once we kind of push that out of our system, and for me, it took. I think it takes 10 days to physically get alcohol out of your system. I think that's just the scientific research has shown that it's like 10 days. It's physically out of your system. That doesn't mean that you don't think about alcohol. Like I was still having not cravings to drink, but I was still having like urges to drink, and like having those like feelings of um, like guilt and shame, and those kinds of things that come along with that problem with drinking. And uh and it does, like, the alcohol does help quiet that, but then it also makes it 10 times worse when you come out of that drinking session. So it leaves us like feeling worse than we did before, even though in the short term it did help. But it's getting through some days and weeks without alcohol, and not introducing it back into our system at all. That's when we start to notice that we don't need alcohol. Like, we need those other things in our life that are making us feel good, like the exercise, like the prayer, if that's something that you do. Um, it could be meditation. It could be walks, hikes. It could be getting together with a friend. Because having people we can talk to is hugely important in this. And that just it could be just getting together with a friend for a cup of coffee or a lunch or something that helps us get through those urges to drink, and leads us to a better way. So meditation was huge for me. Welcome, Lube Master. It was something that I tried really hard to do while I was drinking. So I don't know if you're drinking or not drinking, but and I didn't do it while I was actively like in a binge session. But I mean, I would try to incorporate that when I was not drinking. So like it might be after a night that I drank, it might be after a long bender, it might be whatever. But like the meditation, never really was able to be effective until I quit drinking, and then I was able to like do like a meditation. I was able to do like these. I was really heavy on these body scan things. It was on YouTube. It was just like a 5 minute body scan where you sit still in a comfortable environment, quiet, uh, legs out straight, and able to just relax and feel like each part of your body still. And the body scans were awesome. I almost liked it better than like a meditation. I never really got great at meditating, but I still do like to just sit and sit peacefully and quietly without thinking about anything, and that is huge. Like, because we're all on our phones all the time now. I mean, I know that I spend way too much time looking at my screen, and in fact, I picked up reading this year because I read the Bible cover to cover last year, and then this year, starting the new year, I decided, since I already read the whole Bible, maybe I'll just read parts of it and spend some time in it a little bit, but then pick up reading books for pleasure. and I picked up a couple books. I started reading them, and now I'm on like my, I don't know, 12th book this year, and so a book a month about on average, maybe a little bit more, and that has been hugely important in my getting off my phone. I prefer a physical copy. Now that I'm getting older, I've rented a couple large print books, and when I don't read the large print, it's the small one. Uh, I I'm like, man, my eyes are struggling. But it's like we're staring at these screens all the time, and reading has been huge for me to get away from the screen time. But I think it can be effective for not drinking as well. Um, Elijah, let's see, EJ say hi. Says kicking the bottle was hard for me, so I stopped trying to kick it and just embraced the shit abyss, and now slip through life. Yeah, I relate to that 100%. Um, Most of the time when I was questioning alcohol and I'd give it up for a week, it was because I was hungover really bad. I'd stop for like a few days and I'd say, I'm not going back to it. I hate how I'm feeling. Uh, but I didn't have any tools. And that was the thing. So I would get to like 6, 7, 8 days, and I would forget about how shitty the alcohol was making me feel. And I would go buy a 6 pack and say, all right, I'm just going to drink a 6 pack today. And then the next day I'd buy another 6 pack, but I would drink all of it and want more. And then I would be back right back where I was before, in that shitty abyss that you're talking about. And that's what we're trying to avoid. It's hard to get to a place where you can, not want to go into that abyss, because that's what we know. Like, that's what we have become accustomed to. It's reliable. We know that it works. So we're going to keep doing it. You know what I mean? And regardless of if it makes us feel like shit or not, we're going to do it because we can count on it. It works. It makes us escape. It gets us to where we want to go, oblivion. Um, but on the flip side of that is, um, and I would come to the determination too that this is just my life. That's fine. I'm fine with it. Even though in my heart and deep down I knew that I wasn't fine with it. In the moment, I'm like, I'm just going to succumb to alcohol because this is what I do. This is what I know. This is what I leaned on and relied on for so long. And I know it works. So why not? Let's see. Uh, so what about you guys? Did you guys drink on Thanksgiving? Did you not drink? How did you fare? Not drinking on the holidays is something that wasn't comfortable for me early on in my recovery, because we lean on alcohol as a crutch. We lean on it to help us socialize. We lean on it to help us cope with the shitty circumstances we have in our life. We lean on it to um, give us entertainment when we're bored. We lean on alcohol to for everything, for so much. And so when that's taken away from us, either by our choice or by an outside circumstance, like maybe we get a DUI, maybe a spouse tells us they're going to leave if we don't quit drinking, an ultimatum, maybe there's whatever the reason is, maybe it's a health reason why you can't drink. But maybe it's because you just don't want to feel like shit anymore, and that's a huge thing. um, and that gives you power when it's your choice. That gives you power when you actively, like, say, like, I just don't want to drink anymore because I want to feel better. But then you get to, say, Thanksgiving or Christmas or New Year or whatever the occasion is, Halloween, whatever that is, or a birthday or a wedding or whatever this event is, and you've got a little bit of alcohol free time under your belt, you get to that point. Welcome, Pee Wee. And you get to that point and you go to this function. You don't plan on drinking. You get there and you feel like triggered. You know what I mean? Like you feel like everyone else around me is drinking, or you feel like an outcast because you're the only one not drinking, or whatever that is that's triggering those thoughts. The best thing you can do is have a couple things. You can have an exit strategy. You could also just go take a walk and check in with your group, whatever that group might be. It could be this group, it could be on my Facebook group, or it could be whatever sobriety group you're using. Wherever you feel like you have the most, um, people that you can lean on and count on, that's what's important to get through those occasions, because it's not the alcohol that's going to make it everything better. Yeah, it might make it for a short time, but 9 times out of 10, it's going to just make your day worse and leave you with a hangover. So I mean, like, you can get on with your day, and you can you can spend an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever you do at this function, this party, uh, enjoy it and leave, and then get on with your day and be productive or not. Do whatever you want. Maybe it's just you're just going to go do something that you enjoy doing. You go to bed and you wake up the next day like half that party is hung over today, and you are living your life, and you're feeling good. And that's what this is all about, man. It's about living life to the fullest. It's not about um it's about not drinking. It's about um thriving, but not just surviving. It's about getting through your urges to drink and figuring out that this is better. Life's better without alcohol. I quit April 27th, 2020, so I'm 5+ years alcohol free. How about you, Oh my? Are you alcohol free? Are you sober curious? I know there's a lot of people on here that are sober curious, just kind of looking to see if, like, sobriety, or whatever you want to call it, living alcohol free is the way for you. The thing is, you don't really know it until you try it. Uh, and sometimes for some people, it's easy, spontaneous sobriety. You just, one day you decide, I don't want to drink anymore, and you don't drink, and it's not even a struggle for some of these people. That wasn't me. I wouldn't say it was necessarily hard. It wasn't easy either. I wasn't somebody who was physically addicted to alcohol. Like, my body had to have it to function. Like, if I didn't have it, I was shaking or anything like that. That was not me. Even though I drank massive amounts of alcohol, I never became physically dependent on it. And I figured that out when I finally quit in 2020. During the pandemic, I was drinking every day starting at noon or so. And so when I finally ultimately had the worst bender that I had in those first 6 weeks, and had a blow up in my family, I got to that point and I was like, I need to not drink, especially just for today, but for at least a couple days. And even when I get through this hangover and I pick up alcohol again, I'm not sure if I'm just gonna, like, wean myself off of it, or if I'm gonna have to do that or not. But I found a book, and it changed my perception of alcohol. And then I joined that community, and it further solidified in my mind that maybe I need to try not drinking and give that a try, and get through, which was my record at the time, like 10 days alcohol free. And 10 days has happened to be when I was figuring out, by another book, Alcohol Explained by William Porter, that 10 days, once it's out of your system, it's physically out of your system. And then I thought, once I make it to 10, that's the longest I ever went. Maybe I can do a month. And ultimately, what happened was I started therapy in that second week, and I was planning on going home and drinking after that session. I got home and I was listening to my family laughing and having a good time in the other room, and I thought about going to the fridge and grabbing that first beer, and I thought, why would I want to drink that and wash away those voices and those happy voices, the laughter, because that's what we're doing when we're drinking. We're washing away everything that's good in our life. And maybe we don't have a lot that's good. Maybe we don't feel like we have a lot that's good. Maybe we feel like everything is bad in our life. I certainly did. I wasn't feeling like things were a blessing. I was feeling like everything was work. I was feeling like everything was torture. Everything was giving me back what I was putting out in the world, and I was putting out a lot of bad stuff because I was in a bad place. Uh, and well, chronic. This is kind of a meeting. This is kind of where we go to be able to share these things. So it's not just for me. um, but if you're here and you're struggling with alcohol, this is the right place. But yeah, so I made it through those first couple weeks, and I realized that I don't want to drink, but it was also very difficult. Like it wasn't easy to do, and and that's kind of when the urges started. I would say again, back up like in the first couple weeks. But then I had tools that I used, like my sobriety group, which was This Naked Mind. I had therapy, but that was only once a week. So it's not like I could just talk to my therapist whenever I wanted to. I had to actually get through those urges to drink by talking to my wife, posting on the sobriety group. Um, I didn't have anybody individually that I was like calling, but certainly like I would text my wife if she wasn't available at home, but I would also get on that group and post, and then I would read other people's comments, and then I would take a little bit of time, maybe go for a hike or something, come back, and I'd read what people wrote on those posts, and a lot of times those uh, those comments helped me. Like it was like I already got through the urge to drink, um, kind of on my own. Also by talking about why I was having the urge to drink, it was like I said, it was usually circumstances. But when I'd read through all those, it was like, you know what? All these people are going through similar things. Where it's not all the same. Like this isn't. It's not like we're not all struggling with the same things, but we're all trying to navigate our life without alcohol. So we have all that. We all have that in common, which is huge. And welcome, Random. Thank you so much. And yeah, I mean, we have people, but at the same time, the people that are saying those things, I believe, a lot of times are the ones that need the most help. Let's be honest; those because hurt people, and that's just one of those things that you learn through recovery. And I'm not going to say that they have alcohol problems. Maybe not. I don't have control over where YouTube puts these videos, and like in front of whom they put these videos in front of. So but at the same time, um, like for me, if that video is not for me, I just slide off and move on to the next thing. But that's it's all good. Um, Ball striker, the rock bottom. Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of rock bottom is a term that people use because we have these scenarios in our minds that what is a rock bottom, and for a lot of us, the rock bottom is seeing the homeless person on the corner with, you know, a bag of booze, so hard up that there's just really very little to live for, right? I mean, but in reality, like there's a cloak for a lot of us that are drinking, and we learn this through like a lot of, like AA talks about this a lot. You know, there's no bias on alcoholism. Like it hits everybody. There's people that are in the highest professions in the world, and you don't know that they're having alcohol issues. It's a hidden thing, you know what I mean? So yeah, one person's rock bottom might be totally different than another's. But yeah, for me, it was total embarrassment. My behavior while I was drunk during the pandemic was, you know, it wasn't like a problem for everybody else for the first 6 weeks, but me, and I was looking at my drinking like, this is a problem and I can't control it. And I want to be able to control it, but I can't. And then when I got to that point where, uh, where I had that meltdown, basically, that's basically when it was like, all right, I got to do something about this, and that's that. So ultimately, you know, the rock bottom for me was just living with guilt and shame. We don't have to live that way. We're not meant to live that way. Um, Whatever your faith belief is, I mean, for me, I always knew that there was a better way. I just didn't know how to get to that point. I didn't know how um, to get to the point where um, I could experience what joy there could be in life. You know, um, it's it's something that is elusive when you're a drinker. Yeah, there's glimpses of it. You can find it here and there. You can try new things and different things that help bring you solace. But when you're turning to the alcohol again and again, uh, ultimately it brings you back down and then puts things going the other direction. Um, so yeah, I don't know if if you are part of a member on this channel, or if you want to be part of Sobriety in the Storm, but the link is pinned in all my videos to Sobriety in the Storm on Facebook. And yeah, you can join there. It's more of a private group, so if you feel um like joining there, I do turn on comments on these live streams because I think it's important, even though maybe I don't think it's half, but there's quite a few people that aren't here to talk about recovery. But there's certainly a number of people that are. So I think it's important to be able to have that dialogue at least once in a while. So, but if you want to talk more privately, become a member. I think the membership videos, it's exclusive to members only. So you have to have a membership to be able to comment on there. But if you want to share openly on any of the videos, I encourage you to do so. Like I said, I'm going to start coaching, having Zoom coach one-on-ones soon. But I do have memberships that you can get into right now. Also, if you want to give super thanks, that would help the channel and keep this thing going. So thank you guys so much for being here. I appreciate every single one of you, and I hope that you have a great sober day. We'll see you on the next one.